And is live again. Is Will's Take on Sports. I am the host, Will Walker. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm going to do a podcast in the morning. Make sure I get this sound right. All right, there we go. Going to do a podcast. 10/14, discover this. Happy Columbus Day. For those of you out there who celebrate that, who got the day off, enjoy yourself. Going to do a little Monday morning quarterback in here. What happened in the N, the F, and the L yesterday, and also in college football on Saturday. Also talk a little bit Major League Baseball as both series 2-0 road team. Both road teams. Washington Nationals and the New York Yankees are both handling their business when it comes to, oh, my bad, 1-1. The Yankees blew it. I went to sleep. I went to sleep on that game. The Yankees winning. But anyway, it's 1-1 between the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros. But the Washington Nationals are actually just burying St. Louis with their pitching. Hannibal Sanchez almost threw a no-hitter. Matt Scherzer came back and almost duplicated that feat. St. Louis better get some pitching from somewhere. They better find some pitching. Quick, fast, in a hurry. All right, going to talk about the N, the F, and the L and what happened yesterday. I got to start off with Kansas City and their, I guess you could say, a lack of offensive production. They're not quite as explosive as they were last year. A lot of that probably has to do with the fact they just simply can't block. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he's falling off, and I know he was probably a little hurt yesterday, or he had some kind of injury. He still was on the field, but they can't block. That's the main problem with them. He's not getting any protection. Tyreek Hill did come back yesterday for Kansas City. He had 2 touchdowns, but still, got to give the Houston Texans a whole lot of credit. Deshaun Watson, Carlos Hyde, DeAndre Hopkins, and those guys, their offensive line seems to be a little bit better. I'm not going to say that their offensive line is definitely one of the top in the league, but they're a little bit better as the season has gone along. And they were able to get a key road win as Kansas City has now lost 2 games in a row at home. It's making me start to wonder, is there really going to be any challenger for the New England Patriots in the AFC? Because right now Kansas City still can't play defense. They didn't play defense all that well last year, and they still can't play defense all that well this year. And in regards to anybody else, I guess you could say the Los Angeles Chargers should have been a team that made that next step. They're not. They're 2-4. They lost last night to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Buffalo has a decent defense. They don't have an offense. They're struggling at that position. And then when you go to the AFC North, what is it? I mean, who's going to emerge from there? Yeah, the Steelers are there. They're down to their 3rd string quarterback, for crying out loud. Cleveland is inconsistent. They jumped all over Seattle yesterday. And Russell Wilson, who is right now going to be everybody's, you're going to hear all this talk about he's the favorite for the MVP, and it should be, because he's doing so much more with guys you don't even know. I'm almost certain, even unless you are a diehard Seattle Seahawks fan or a sports junkie fanatic like myself, who can name any other player on offense for Seattle. I don't think many people can, but Seattle came back and they won that game. Great showing by Russell Wilson. Again, standing in the AFC, Baltimore. Great game by Lamar Jackson, really, as far as total yards from scrimmage. He ran the ball all over just a poor Cincinnati Bengals defense. Their defense is really bad. They'll have a top 5 pick next year because they're just awful, but they did make a fight in that game against the Baltimore Ravens. But the Ravens are not. I don't see the Ravens really beating the Patriots. So there is right now, the AFC is just the Patriots and everybody else so far through the first 6 weeks of this NFL season. It's just, and the Patriots don't really look like a juggernaut either. Now with Gordon going down, he got injured in that Thursday night game against the Giants, who made that game look interesting. The Patriots are struggling. as far as offense. I don't think they have the wide receivers. There's no Gronk. Of course, everybody knows about the Antonio Brown situation. That might be why they Bill Belichick and the report was that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady both were fighting for AB to stay. That's probably why. He's not going back. Not after that tweet he put out there about Robert Kraft. But anyway, that's why the Patriots, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick both were just really hoping that Antonio Brown could have been a member. I'm not going to really get into the Antonio Brown garbage because he's just been Antonio Brown. He's been an idiot in more ways than one. Minnesota stomped the Eagles yesterday. They played well at home. Stephon Diggs, after all of his complaining or whatever the situation is that's going on, his trade request, not trade request. Kirk Cousins, who I picked up in my fantasy yesterday. Thank you, Kirk Cousins, for letting me get that fantasy daily win. He threw for 4 touchdowns yesterday. Had a big game. The Eagles and now the Dallas Cowboys are tied 3 up, 3 down. 3 wins, 3 losses at the top of the NFC East. I can rail on the Cowboys all I want. And a lot of that is simply the fact because it's personal for me because I have a bet with a Cowboys fan. It was a friend of mine. And I told him that the Cowboys would not make the playoffs this season. So I am rooting hard for that to happen. The Cowboys just and at one, like I said, at one point I did think the Cowboys were going to have a great year, but then like I said, Ezekiel Elliott had to hold out. He doesn't look the same either. They lost to the Jets. The Cowboys lost to the Jets. I don't care if they lost to the Jets wherever. They could have lost to the Jets in a neutral site game. They lost to the Jets with Sam Darnold basically making his return back to the team after being out with mono. He comes back. The Jets look like they got an offense. Adam Gates looks like he knows a little bit about offense when he has a quarterback back there that can actually get the ball out or make good decisions with the ball. Ryan Anderson, again, he has been a surprise since he's been with the Jets as wide receiver, and he looks legit. And now you got a guy that can get him the ball down the field. But the Cowboys lost. Scored that touchdown late. And then had to go and then went for the 2 to try to tie the ball game up, and they lost. Speaking of trying to get a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, let me speak about my Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins played decent yesterday. Josh Rosen, God bless you. I really appreciate you. But you're not the answer at quarterback. Not for the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins might as well. I think they're going to get ready to go ahead and make a pick up one of those top college quarterbacks that's coming out in the draft in 2020. Josh Rosen isn't the answer. Fitzpatrick came off the bench for the Dolphins yesterday. Led the Dolphins to a great comeback, honestly. I mean, I know the Redskins stink too, but at least the Dolphins look competitive in a game for once this season. Late touchdown throw by Fitzpatrick. That's what Fitzpatrick is. He's good for 2 quarters. If you ask him to play a whole game or an entire season, you're gonna be thoroughly disappointed. He's good for 2 quarters. He can do that. He can come off the bench and give you a spark. He came off the bench, gave the Dolphins a spark yesterday. They were able to move the ball once he got into the ball game because God knows Josh Rosen couldn't do anything. Nothing whatsoever. And I agree with Brian Flores. I agree with the coach. Go for 2. Go for the win. Don't play for the time. Don't play for overtime. Go ahead and go for 2. The Dolphins had the momentum. I didn't like the last play call for the 2-point conversion, but it is what it is. The Dolphins just pretty much assured themselves that they'll get the number 1 overall pick, which is what they were aiming for anyway. Top draft pick, number 1 overall. And they got to be sick to their stomach with what's going on in Pittsburgh. But listen, that's just, hey, the Pittsburgh probably a guarantee the Dolphins have another top 10 pick. Not so sure about the Texans right now. They look like they're starting to get their act together as they're starting to trend towards having a better season. And the gamble that they made to get a top-notch left tackle, it seems to be paying off as Laremy Tunsil seems to be getting himself together as a Houston Texan. Let me see what else in the NFL. You already spoke about Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Let me get into college football and what happened on Saturday. I live in the Atlanta metro area, and what's so funny is that when the Georgia Bulldogs lost, you'd have thought the sky fell. And Georgia did lose at home. That's not a top-notch opponent they lost to, for goodness sake. South Carolina lost to North Carolina at the beginning of the year. They have been struggling all year. They were on their backup quarterback. But the thing that happened is what happens to any quarterback that gets hit or any quarterback that doesn't have time. Jake Fromm got hit. He didn't have time. He looked average, which any quarterback will if they don't have time and they get hit. They're going to look average, which is one of the biggest problems with my Miami Hurricanes. They don't have an offensive line. That's why they look average. I don't care who's quarterbacking for the Hurricanes. They don't have an offensive line, so they can't do anything. But anyway, back to the Georgia Bulldogs. Look, Georgia's okay. Really, they're still in the hunt for the bowl playoff picture. And a lot of the reason I'm rooting for that is because I picked Georgia to win the bowl playoff national title. I picked them. So I think they'll be okay. They got to find some receivers, though. They woof. Again, I saw it against Notre Dame, and it really played out yesterday. On Saturday. They really got to find an elite level wide receiver. Alabama's got 3 of them. See if you can make a trade. Just kidding. But anyway, Georgia will be okay. Florida lost. They lost to LSU. Florida played actually a decent game till late. LSU was able to pull away, get that 14-point win. What was it, 42-28, something like that? I think that's what it was, 42-28. But it's amazing how, Florida is a team, their defense, they hang their head on their defense. But this is not the LSU that I think any of us can hardly remember or recall. This is a totally different LSU team with wide receivers, the pace of play at court on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense isn't what you think of LSU's defense to be. Yes, Del Pitt, the safety, is legit. He is legit. The recovery speed that kid has is just crazy. But anyway, that's going to make a really interesting showdown that's going to happen in Tuscaloosa between LSU and Alabama. It's going to make a very good game. So expect CBS to have another LSU-Alabama 8 o'clock game whenever that happens. Just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just call that. I don't know. I'm just saying. That seems to be the case when both of those teams are ranked in the top 5. CBS capitalizes on that. They should, but it is what it is. But anyway, back to the Florida and LSU game. I can say this much. Dan Mullen can call a game. He can call a game. And I'm solely comparing that to the fact that the offense coordinator at Miami just absolutely is abysmal at play calling and clock management. He is the worst. But watching Dan Mullen manipulate that game to give that backup quarterback, Trask, that he has in right now, to put him in spots to be successful, to put his offense in spots to be successful, Dan Mullen can call a game. That is quite obvious to me now. I wasn't really I didn't know really much about Dan Mullen. I don't really remember him being the offensive coordinator at Florida under Meyer. And I really didn't pay attention to Mississippi State. For crying out loud. But anyway, from what I've seen, and that's the second game this season that I paid attention to him. He calls plays to set up plays later. That's really good. I wish what Dan Enos, the Miami Hurricanes offensive coordinator, should do is go sit with him in the offseason and learn. Good grief. That's just poor. The Canes did win. Don't get me wrong. They finally were able to put together a solid defensive effort, just enough offense, although Virginia did move that ball up and down the field Friday night. They just couldn't cash in the red zone. Got in the red zone, kicked 3 field goals. And That's what that is. I'm not sold on N'Kosi Perry. Probably he's a good kid. Glad he's made that return. Glad he didn't quit and transfer after he wasn't named the starter at the beginning of the season. But he's got the same problem he had last year. He can't read defenses. You know. So I think I heard somewhere in the broadcast they said, okay, if the first read ain't there, just run. Well, you should have did that under Mark Richt too. I think Jaron Williams should be the starter. You're building for the future anyway. You're not going to win nothing but go to the Blue Bonnet Bowl or the Weed Eater Bowl or the Grass Eating Bowl or whatever bowl they're going to if they win 6 games. And right now, that's not a guarantee. I saw something stupid, something crazy in my eyes, in my opinion, in regards to the Miami Hurricanes. What does ESPN expect from the Miami Hurricanes the rest of the year? They should expect the Miami Hurricanes to be inconsistent. There's no gimmies on the Miami Hurricanes, not even the FIU game. There's no gimmies with the Canes for the rest of the year. Not that I see. Anyway, they can't block or whatever. Another thing I mentioned this yesterday as I did a show with my buddy Zach Flournoy in regards to the targeting rule. I hate that dumb rule. I've hated it since they implemented it. It is so stupid. Can't play defense. Offensive player ducks his doggone head and the guy's going in to make a tackle and helmet's hit accidentally. It's a doggone flag on the defensive player. He's gone. Ejected from the game. They should just outlaw tackling, period. Don't tackle. In the NFL, if a defensive end comes around the corner and his body weight falls on top of the quarterback, gone. Flag, 15 yards. It's serious. And everybody says, okay, well, they got to protect the quarterback because the quarterback is the moneymaker. Yeah, everything comes down to money. I get that part. I understand all that. But my thing is, good grief. You might as well just tell these guys to not tackle, period. Because they can't do any tackling. In that Jacksonville, New Orleans Saints game yesterday, the tight end was coming across I think the linebacker led with his shoulder, but the helmets happened to collide. And unfortunately, the tight end, got knocked out of the game. My prayers go out to him. But anyway, football is violent. But that it was a violent collision. But football is violent. It's a violent game. That's what it is. You're asking large individuals to run into each other at full speed. When they do that dumb combine thing they do where they run around in shorts and people watch that stuff and they televise it, they're measuring speed. The most popular event at the NFL Combine is speed. They even testing the speed of linemen. So when you get into the game and you put on gear that's supposed to be protecting you against collisions or to soften the blow of the collision with the helmet, the shoulder pads, and everything else, that is what's going to happen. Violent collisions. It's a violent sport. And I get it. Safety precautions. The NFL doesn't want to be sued for concussion or CTE after a guy finish playing. I understand it. And in the high school level, they're trying to just basically just say we're all about safety. I mean, at the high school and college level, it's supposed to be the amateur level. But anyway, it's all about safety. No more jacked up hits. I don't care. And they're basically just telling the defense, we don't care that the offensive player ducks his head to brace for the hit. You got to aim lower. And if these kids, if it gets to that point to where, okay, knees are going to be taken out or the lower body's going to be taken out. It's going to be worse injuries. The injury that happened to the kid that in the Virginia game, the Virginia and Miami game, the top cornerback, 34, I can't think of his name, but he got rolled up on making a block on a punt return. That's really sad. But I'm saying with the targeting rule, and you can't hit high and you got to hit lower, it may be a lot more injuries like that. Take their knees out or take their lower half out. You're going to get a lot more gruesome injuries like that one. Then is that better than, hitting a guy? I mean, they can't even aim for these guys' chest anymore. Because if the offensive player ducks, boom, targeting. It's just that I don't understand how you're supposed to play defense now. Like I said, outlaw tackling. Just make it simple. Heck, the game is a 7-on-7 anyway. And 7-on-7, for those of you who don't know, don't have any linemen. There are no offensive linemen. There's no defensive linemen. Guy gets to sit back there like you used to play in the street with your buddies or in the park with your buddies, or how flag football is played. Guys run out, guys throw the ball. In 7-on-7, they play touch. That's pretty much what they should do anyway, in my opinion. Play that now. Do that. Because they can't tackle in either the amateur level or the professional level. There's no tackling allowed. And let me get on another non-defense, another sport that defense is being less emphasized, and that's the NBA. They play more defense in college basketball. The NBA is just it's going to be an exciting season for the NBA. I'm going to do an NBA preview coming up this Thursday. Going to talk about that. Talk about what my expectations are for the upcoming NBA season. And I know in the past I've been Team Petty because LeBron left Miami. I'm over that now. But that's still not going to be that's not the reason why when I give my pick about the Lakers, it has nothing to do with my former Team Petty situation. That simple fact is I don't believe the Lakers are going to be that good. I know what LeBron used to be, but what is he now? Is he going to be that? Is he going to be that guy? Is it possible he could be that guy? I don't know. And then there's this thing with Anthony Davis. I see he already suffered a minor injury. Well, they say it's just a sprained thumb. I'm perplexed with how people say that the Lakers with Jared Dudley, Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo, and Danny Green, they're deeper. I don't understand that. And JaVale McGee. I don't get it. I'm a little lost. And Kyle Kuzma's hurt. He's not even starting the season. Lakers are going to be, they're going to be good because they got two of the best players. And that's what the NBA is. But as far as the lack of defense in the NBA, man, I've seen scores posted or as for these preseason games in the 130s, 120s. Ain't that many good shooters in the NBA. Ain't that many good, and I'm saying shooters because it's all about the jump shot now. It's all about that three-point line. You run to the paint to throw it out to a guy that's standing at three-point line. Bigs are even practicing it. Are even practicing shooting from the corner three or the top of the key three. I mean, Hassan Whiteside just started training camp last year when he was with the Heat. He was talking about he was going to shoot threes from the corner. Man, get your body inside there and rebound and block shots. Set a pick. Set a pick and rim run. Look for the lob. Get out there and get the rebound. Sitting in the corner shooting threes. Anyway, saw a highlight with him with Portland. Portland's going to be interesting. That's all I can say about that. They're going to be interesting. I don't know how good they're going to be, really, given how deep the West is. But Portland is really going to be an interesting team. One quick thing. I'm going to get into my picks. We'll go do my picks a little earlier this week. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say something about the Penn State players that wore those T-shirts. The school told you exactly what they thought about it. Take them off. That's simple. Take them off. Support your teammate, but take them off. That's all I got to say about that. And if that becomes a story this week, that to me, that's it. Like I said last week, that's a non-story for me. It's a non-issue for me. But if it becomes a story, that's crazy. I don't understand it. But the school told those kids, take them off. I don't think so, buddy. So, that's, wow. Looking through some of these headlines and some of these other things, I'm trying to see anything else that caught my eye real quick before I get into my picks. Oh, yeah. Got to say, Christian McCaffrey, he didn't have that many yards as he's to meet his average, but that kid can play. I don't care what his skin color is in regards to playing that position at running back. That kid can play. He can play. He is a top-notch NFL running back. That kid deserves the props. And again, they got to give it to him. He is the best in the game right now at running back. with Saquon Barkley sitting on the sideline, that kid is the best running back in the N, the F, and the L right now. That's just what it comes down to. It's not, the skin color aside. But until Saquon comes back, until Saquon's healthy, I tell you, running back right now, that holdout did something to him. Melvin Gordon did not look good last night. And I'm pretty sure the San Diego coaching staff, the Los Angeles Chargers coaching staff is second guessing. They should have left Eckler in there. Let Melvin Gordon come off the bench. Eckler's been playing well while he was holding out. I'm just saying. Just my take. All right, I'm going to get into these picks that I'm going to make for this week. Last week, I was not very good at all. I think I only got one right. That was Carolina. Out of all the games I picked last week, I was 1-4 out of the 5 games. All right, so I'm going to go another 5 games this week. This time I'm going to concentrate on the left coast. Going to concentrate on the West Coast. Going to give my West Coast listeners some love since you guys have been really showing me some love. I really appreciate it. East Coast too, South too, Midwest too, but the West Coast shows me a lot of love. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in regards to the left coast. For my 5 games that I'm going to pick a couple 3 college games and 2 in the F and the L. All right, going to start with Arizona State at Utah. Listen, Arizona State right now is 5-1. They're playing a tough-nosed brand of football as they were able to get past Washington State. Very good game for them on Saturday night in Utah. If I'm correct, I think they're still undefeated. This game is going to be in Utah. Utah, like I stated, they're tough. They're going to be good. They're good this year also, and they are 5-1. They're not undefeated. So this game's at Utah. I'm going to go ahead with Utah. They put up 52 points against Oregon State. Ouch. Ouch for Oregon State. But I'm going to go with Utah in the first game. All right, going to move on to my next game that I'm going to go ahead and pick. That's going to be Boise State at BYU. Listen, Boise State has really turned their season. They've been the surprise team, I think you could say, so far this season, starting with that opening weekend win at Florida State, even with all the uncertainty in regards to the hurricane that was possibly getting ready to hit the state of Florida. So they had to move that game from Jacksonville to Tallahassee. Boise dealt with it, but this isn't about that game. This is about Boise State versus BYU. I'm going to go ahead and say that Boise State go ahead and get the win on the road. I know BYU is tough to play at night, but the atmosphere could be tough all they want to be. BYU's not a good football team, so I'm going to go with Boise State to win that ball game. Next game is Oregon at Washington. Justin Herbert versus Jacob Eason. These two guys look like your prototypical NFL quarterback prospects. And they're both ranked behind Tua, according to the NFL scouts. And those people who get paid to do that, they know more than I do. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't agree with it. I haven't seen Tua make many tough throws, but this is about Alabama. But anyway, Jacob Eason going up against Justin Herbert. This game is going to be at Washington. Washington is a team that lost to USC with a backup quarterback. No, not USC. They lost at home. Let me see who they lose to at home earlier this year. I'll find it before the end of the show. But anyway, I'm going to say that I like the way Mario Cristobal has that young team, that team playing out there. Like I said, he has a very good quarterback. Okay defense. Good offensive weapons on that side, but it all is led by Justin Herbert, the top NFL prospect quarterback who I would like to see in a Miami Dolphins uniform. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go with Oregon. All right, turning my attention to the N, the F, and the L. The Los Angeles Chargers are going to be at Tennessee. Tennessee did not look good yesterday against the Broncos. The Chargers tried to make a comeback last night. They did all they could to try to erase that 24-3 deficit that they faced in the fourth quarter. Almost got there. Wonder how much longer Phillip Rivers is going to play. I mean, I know they got Melvin Gordon and I know they got Mike Williams, but I'm just curious, how much longer is Phillip Rivers going to play in the NFL? But anyway, this game's at Tennessee. Both of these teams are very suspect in my opinion, but I'm going to go ahead and say that the Los Angeles Chargers get the road win and beat Tennessee. And then the last game we're going to pick is going to be Arizona at the New York Giants. The top two quarterbacks picked in last year in the 2019 draft, the number 1 overall pick and the number 7 pick. The number 1 overall pick is Kyler Murray, as they were able to beat the Atlanta Falcons. They hung on to win, got that 1-point win, and the New York Giants are coming off a loss against the New England Patriots. And Daniel Jones didn't look all that bad. He really didn't. I mean, given the fact that was his first start against a Bill Belichick-led defense, Giants are not as bad. And Daniel Jones is a little bit better than what I thought and a lot of others thought. But this game would be at home. Arizona is now 2-3-1. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Kyler Murray. I think this will be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a lot of offense all over the place. Both of these teams, they're okay. They're not horrible. They're not Miami horrible. They're not Washington horrible. They're not Cincinnati horrible. They're okay. And Kyler Murray seems to be getting a little bit better every week in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals to win at the New York Giants. So those are the 5 games I'm going to pick. Those are the 5 games that I pick for this week going into next weekend in college football and the NFL. Again, please listen to my NBA preview show as I'm getting ready to go ahead and get out of here. Quick 30 minutes to give you this morning. It's going to be coming to you every Monday morning and also on Thursday. So it's going to be 3 days now, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. But anyway, thank you everybody that takes the time to download and listen to this show and also listen live like I am right now. Also, if you miss any part of this show, please listen, or any other shows and want to listen, please go to Spotify. iHeartRadio is available on Google Play Podcasts for Android users, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and also if you it's also posted a link on Twister. Lord have mercy. There's a link posted on Twitter and Instagram at WWS_sports show. Also, if on Facebook, you can find my Facebook page, Will's Take on Sports. Just put that in the search menu, the search box, and just type in Will's Take on Sports, and the Facebook page will come up. Also, if you go to the Facebook page, please like the Facebook page. Also, if you're listening on any of those platforms that I just mentioned, please leave me a comment and let me know, or just hit that like button and subscribe. Also, that's on the Spreaker app, the mobile app, and also on the Spreaker website. Going to be soon, going to be coming to you exclusively from Spreaker. One thing, Blog Talk Radio, though. That's what got me started back in 2014. All right, I close this show the same way every single week. Say a prayer for somebody, because prayer changes things. I holla. Y'all be safe. Have a great day.